Today on the Warrior Workshop, we're going to discuss what is called a switch loop in residential wiring. Welcome to the Warrior Workshop. My name is Mr. Rado. We were on a field trip. We're in a kind of a common situation where you've got a home that was built on spec, so the basement had pull chain light switches, was what this box used to be right here. Little white bulb with a single pull chain. So the power is brought to the box. We want to, now that we've finished this basement a few years back, we want to get rid of that for servicing the furnace room and things like that. So we want to make it a switch. Well, normally the power comes to the switch first, then travels on to the light fixtures. We're doing what we call a switch loop, which is where the power is brought to the fixture first, then to the switch. We're also going to add a couple more lights because this furnace closet is kind of tight, so we're going to put one on the back side, a wall-mounted light, and then the hallway that leads up to it. We're going to put all in one switch because usually if you're in the hallway, you're probably servicing or changing the filter anyways on the furnace, so no need to make them two separate switches, and it will require extra wire, which, why mess with it if we don't have to, right? So the first thing we've already done is getting rid of everything, and I've gone ahead and marked my black lead or the hot wire with a piece of red tape so that I know when the other wires come in, which one is the power source. I've got ready to go in the wire that's going down to the switch. We're going to insert that into the box, and then we have our additional light for the hallway, and we're going to add one more for the light in the back. So we'll try to zoom in because it's kind of tight in here. That's why the weird angle, but we'll do what we can. Make sure the power's off. Alright, here we're inserting the wires into the box. The first one was our hot wire. That second wire was the switch loop. And then these additional two are for the other two lights in the hallway and the back side of the closet. Once you get all the sheathing pulled back on the white wire from the switch loop, you want to wrap that wire with a piece of black tape, that a universal code that is now a switch loop, and that becomes a hot wire from the light to the switch. After twisting them together, we'll put a wire nut on the hot wire and the switch loop positive or hot wire. So there is our power supply. Order is not particularly important, but we're going to do the ground next. And we're going to add a pigtail because our light fixture is going to require that. All right, what we chose, and I call it the smoke detector light, but it's an LED version of the old-fashioned pull chain without the pull chain. It's just a single light fixture. And it's low profile, which will work really good up here in this thing. And what's nice is it's also wall mountable and not protruding here in a tight confined space. It only has a positive or a hot and a neutral. Then you mount it to a box and the ground wires here. So it's a 3-wire system. Could be used as a 2-wire, but since we have the ground wire, let's go ahead and use it, right? So this will eventually get mounted to the screws and our ground wire. So we do need a pigtail for the ground, so that way we can get to here. So we'll go ahead and add a pigtail. Alright, what is a pigtail? Pigtail is just a short section of wire, and it gets its nickname for when the wire gets twisted together. Kind of has that squiggly look of a pigtail. So it's short and it's squiggly, hence the name pigtail. And a pigtail can be any color, so I've just taken about 6 inches of my new wire, and right now I've got that ground. So I'm going to set the black and the white over there. I don't know if you can tell, but anytime that you twist the wires, you want to twist in a clockwise position or rotation, because that's the way the wire nuts are going to work. And trim them even, and get a wire nut on there. Alright, so there's our single ground. Alright, at this point I've got a couple of options. This is a 16 gauge, I think. Yeah, most likely. A light gauge, multi-strand. It is 10 at the end, but I have had difficulties, we'll just put it that way, of attaching multiple solid wires to one, or adding a single multi-strand to a bunch of solid strand wires. Since we happen to have these two pigtails from our earlier ground wire work, I'm going to go ahead and make pigtails for each one, and then we'll use the pigtails so that way we can attach this with a smaller wire nut and make sure we get direct connection, because a lot of times these will slide out in that big wire nut of land of multiple wires and solid versus multi-strand. So that you don't have to, but right now I don't want to be working with this hanging, so it'll be the last thing we do. So you'll see why here at the end. All right, now we're going to put our neutrals together and pigtail. At the same time, we're going to put our hots together. That way when it comes from the switch, it turns all 3 lights on at once. Wire nut with a pigtail. At this point, we're ready to tuck everything in, and now you can see where the 3 pigtails will serve as helpers. So everything gets tucked in there. We'll attach the ground wire or the copper wire to the ground screw on the mounting bracket and go ahead and install the mounting bracket. There we go. Now we'll just switch up to a smaller wire nut and do the pigtail with the single wire from the light fixture. And usually the light fixture comes with these appropriately sized wire nuts. Finally snap it into place and you're good to go. There we go. Yep, this snaps into place. Nice low profile. Alright, so now that that one's installed, we'll go ahead. We've already installed the one in the hallway, so it's good to go. It was what they call a can light or canister light, so we'll get this wire stapled across. You're not going to be able to see us because it's literally, I mean, you're having trouble seeing this one. It's on the other side of the furnace. So I'll come back when that one's done and we'll work on the wall over here for our old work switch is what it's called, even though it's new work in old construction. Alright, we're in the second half of our video on how to turn a pull string light switch where the power is at the light into a switched light. And just think about it, you walk into the basement, got to find that pull string if it's dark or something in a garage. So this is common, especially when it's after it's been remodeled. So what we have here is we have existing drywall, so we're going to get what's called an old work box. A new work box has the nails or the brackets to nail or screw it to the wall or to a stud. Since our studs are covered, we're going to use it's called an old work box, has flanges after you cut the hole to kind of clamp it to the drywall essentially. You're going to need to figure out where your studs are. Fortunately behind us, the interior of the furnace room is not drywalled. However, you know you're going to have 1 or 2 studs here at the front, and you know you're going to have 1 or 2 studs here, usually 2 on the edge of a doorway. So use a stud finder if you can't see yours. The other thing we want to do is we want to get it to the same approximate height as the rest of the room. Typically around 48. That will vary from location to location, but we want to keep it consistent. So that's the center of our switch. So here's our 48 mark. We're going to basically center the box on there, square it up visually. Make sure our screws and tabs are in. And then right in between these 2 tabs, we're going to draw a little pencil line on all 4 sides. So that essentially creates, and then we'll play connect the dots. So there's our cutout. And then these flanges will go from there. Check our fit. Remember, you can always make the hole larger. A little bit of slop is okay because you're going to have a cover plate, which unfortunately we've forgotten. So we'll get that in a minute. All right, you take and you're going to knock one of these tabs. You're not supposed to break them off. It does happen. But get enough of a area to insert your Romex. And this is easier if it's not stripped, but send that through. Send that through. Okay, to where you got about 4 to 6 inches extra there. On a switch, you're going to have 2 brass screws and a green for ground. Okay, in this case, this is a switch loop, so it does not matter which one of the brass screws the black wire goes to or the marked wire like we showed. Then obviously the green will go to copper. When you install it on the screw, make sure it's hooked, so as you pull it, it'll pull clockwise. Otherwise, if it's backwards, like this way, then it'll want to slide up and loosen itself. So clockwise in the twist, clockwise in the installation. We're going to do a tuck and fold. Pull out the cheater screwdriver. Forgot to check direction, but I got lucky. Off, so up. Okay. Make sure everything's straight and square. If you'd remember on your shopping list for the cover plate, we'll get one. Well, let's turn the breaker on. Well, didn't pop. That's a good sign. Alright, moment of truth. Obviously, you went cover plate on. Switch. We got our front and our back lights come on and our little access hallway. We could have done a double switch, but it needed an extra set of wires to run a double switch. It was already tight enough in that hot box, so it would have created a junction. And honestly, if you're in this hallway, you're most likely changing the furnace filter or looking at it, or grabbing something off the charger shelf here, and you won't be in here very long. So all 3 will come on at once. Keeps the light switch nice and simple. I'm not paid or endorsed by these Progress Lighting mini flush mounts. These are about $22, I think, at Home Depot. They did make a larger one for closer to $30, but I call it the smoke detector light because that's about all the bigger it is, and it has a 2700 to 5000. We've got it turned up to the bright white because obviously this is a work setting, and it matches the rest of the basement as a workroom area. So that's going to wrap up this field trip here at the Warrior Workshop. But basically what we did is we took a pull chain light where our power source was at the light fixture first rather than the switch, and completed what they call a switch loop, which only took 1 wire rather than 2 independent wires. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can get more Warrior Workshop field trip videos. We got an outside fixture to install. We'll do some in-lab setups of these wiring diagrams so that way it's a little bit easier to see in this confined area rather than this confined area. And we'll get in. We've also got a smoke detector and a ceiling fan lights installed, so check those videos out. We're also a high school woodworking program, so check those if you're interested in woodworking. So again, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. You know the algorithms work. And hit that subscribe button and bell notification. We'll talk to you next time. While you're waiting for the next one and working on your own house, go out and make some sawdust.